Hey there, everybody. Dave Cooper and Miles Biggs Ideas here, increasing influence. We're going to have a good show. We're going to have a good show today, Miles. We're going to break down the last 4 guests that we had on the show. We do this every 3 or 4 guests or so, which is going to be a lot of fun. So listen, everyone, if you're just tuning in now, we are on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time, and we are live. And everything about this channel is how you increase your influence, how you increase your branding. Why are we doing what we do? I mean, we get it all the time. We're live all the time, Miles and I, whether it's podcast or video. And well, Miles video now. It's about time, Miles. I say that every week.
You do.
But there's a good reason for it, and I think people need to start following because this stuff is not going away. So, Miles Biggs, how are you, man?
I'm good. Staying busy with all the stuff you just rattled off. The weeks go by quick. I feel like every minute is scheduled, right? I know you feel that way. So
it's crazy.
You just blink and you're on the next thing, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is. It is a ton of fun, and ever so more importantly, maybe we need to get a master of scheduling on this show. Somebody that time management. How do you manage all the time when you have so much coming at you? Like, how do you cut through the noise?
Right.
There's a lot of noise.
That'd be a really cool topic, and how time management can help increase your influence, right?
Yeah.
And you could be busy, but are you really being productive with your time? Or are you just filling it with crap that's not helping you, right?
Yes.
A cool topic. So if you're watching this and you're a time management expert, message us. Let's get you on.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely could use that. I'm sure a lot of people could use it. I think today more than ever with Zoom calls and social media, we're just bombarded, especially working from home. Like there's no separation between work and house anymore.
Right.
It's just, it could run on and run and the lives can kind of merge together, which isn't good either.
I mean, it doesn't have to be bad, right? But yeah, there's the potential to not be good if you don't manage it correctly.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, man. Well, let's get into this here. I think this is going to be kind of a cool walkthrough of what we have going on. So, I mean, we've had some pretty big guests over the last couple of weeks. I mean, like these are real movers and shakers in the industry. So it's kind of fun having them on the show. It's fun having them talk about what they're doing. So let's hop into it. So Getting right to it. I mean, we had Jennifer Melman on, Jenny Melman, brand creator, strategy, and results maker, innovator, team curator, leader. I mean, this is somebody who plays at the highest level in the food industry, the building industry, helping brands figure out what their strategies are and what they do.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Sometimes in the conversation, like my brain was down here and she's up here, right? The way she approaches it is impressive. Yeah. And there's a reason why she's as in demand as she is, right? So it's cool that we had her on the show.
Yeah, no, super, super cool. And we need to follow up because we had a great idea on the show, and that's about breaking down brands on the show. So we pick somebody's brand, or somebody could submit their brand, and we can have some of these experts on that otherwise wouldn't, be on somebody else's team to say, hey, here's our opinion, here's our thoughts. I think that's still a great idea. We should work that in somehow.
I think so too, especially people that are just entrenched in their own organization. You can't see what other people see sometimes, right? So to get that outside perspective can be huge.
Yeah,
for sure. Fun if somebody was willing to put it all out there live, right, and expose themselves to a little bit of constructive criticism potentially, or just some new ideas. It would be a fun live challenge.
It seriously would be fun live challenge. So, all right, I'm gonna make a note right now, Miles. I got my pencil. I think we need to follow up with Jenny on that. She said she was into doing it, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. We can really go to town on people's brands, because I am not a brand expert by any stretch. So maybe we could break down what I'm doing live as well. That way I can be in the mix of the doghouse with everybody else.
I think too, we could do that for sure. But then even if you're not a quote unquote expert, you're also a consumer. You buy things, business owner, like you have an opinion. Doesn't have to come from a point of expertise. So it's just another perspective thrown into the mix. So you wrote it down to talk with Jenny, but again, people listening, watching, who's up for it, right? We could look at personal brands. We could look at product launches and the way you're pitching or announcing an event or anything like that from a campaign perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
logos, packaging, messaging strategies. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it. So if anybody's feeling brave, get you on, put you in the hot seat, right? And then just come up with some new ideas for you.
I love it. I mean, hey, so let's say hi. We got Mark Willie joining us. He says, really enjoying your walks and talks, Miles. So
Thanks,
there's
Mark.
a plug for your morning videos, you and your dog, and soon to be another child, it looks like.
I'll just have like all the stuff in my hands still talking. Yeah.
Hey, listen, you know what? You'll find a way. Yeah. And then we got good old Joel Hutchins from Splash Modular. Hey, Joel, why don't we have you on the show, Joel, and we'll break down your branding and what you have going on. And then we'll move on back to me. I don't know if I want to go first. No, but it's cool. Hugh Simpson, I think you should be on here talking about roll your routine. I don't know Hugh Simpson, or do I?
I think Joel has thrown that out here once before, that he was somebody that talks about this. I think it was a book recommendation. So he's thrown.
Joel, do you know this person? Because maybe if you know this person, we can get him on our show. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get him on the show. I'd love to do it. Like I said, I out of all of our shows, they're all important, but this one really is here to help everybody and understand what we're doing, and it's to have a little bit of fun, right? Can't always be stuffy.
That's right.
It can't always be stuffy. So we got also Joe Butler. These are great. Thank you for the experience, Joe. We appreciate that as well. You and I have a follow-up coming up as well, but Joe Butler, man, I love it. We've got a lot of people. And Hutchins, I'm in for both. And Revia. That's it, man.
Done.
All right. We're going to get Jenny on, and Joel, be prepared, because she does not. Well, first of all, I've spoken to Joel several times. So Joel will appreciate the direct, no nonsense approach Jenny brings to the table. That's right up his alley. So, all right, Miles. So we had Jenny. We have a great idea. We're going to move that forward. And then we are off to Michael Tonart. Now, okay. We weren't even on the show that day. I mean, Michael just took over the show. Let's just be fair and say we couldn't get a word in edgewise. This is somebody that loves to talk about personal branding and loves to talk about what he's doing. And, one would say, well, it could almost be a fault, but I don't think so. I think he comes about it so enthusiastic and so much fun. It looked like half his team was joining in on it.
Yeah. He's super passionate, and he always has been. He goes and goes and goes for as long as I've known him. Yeah. And I said before, we were college roommates. So I met Mike 12 years ago, stepping on a college campus for the first time. And we lived together for 3 years in college. And so that's just him. He's just like that. And so it's fun to know him as the bright-eyed college freshman like we were, to now what he's been able to accomplish with running NASCAR events and building up the DJ brand.
Yeah.
The risk he took just moving to Maryland without having anything to then land the job at Stanley Black & Decker and do as well as he's doing. It's great to see and to hear directly from him.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely. I mean, what a story, thing. I mean, this Michael, and this comes down to just taking risk, right? Pretty much packed up everything. He was married at the time and just moved his entire family, no job. And within a year or so, he's interviewing people in NASCAR.
Yep. And that was a cool example of the convergence of the side hustle, right? That totally unrelated from the corporate marketing gig, met that. And he was, no one else could have done it the way he did it, because no one else was coming at it from so many different perspectives.
Yeah.
I just love that example. You talked about the work-life balance at the beginning of our stream here.
Right.
And I think his is a good example of, it's not so much a balance, but it's an integration. Right, like personal Mike and what he was working on with professional Mike became one, and just supercharged his career and set him up for what he's doing now.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, he was a fun guest to have on. He's actually somebody that I'd love to have back as he's going through his journey, because I mean, Black & Decker is right up our alley when it comes to construction, offsite. I mean, he's playing in our world on the marketing level with a company that supplies a lot of products to the industry. So. Right. I think that's.
I know he's down for that. I talked to him afterwards, and he was dead serious that he'll come back. He'll try to get you there. He's up for whatever you want to do. So, Mike, if you're watching,
yeah. Well, they have a location here in Connecticut. I need to get them up here to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Well, they used to have. I think they still do. It would be a lot of fun. You know what would be fun? Let's go live from Black & Decker's production floor.
That would be cool. That'd be a good behind the scenes for sure.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would be fun. All right. Time's a ticking. We got Byron Lazine. So this was a great one, not only because it was 110 degrees. I was sitting outside at a truck stop on my way home from family vacation. So that it was definitely an interesting one. But Byron, now here's somebody who went from rags to riches, lost everything, rebuilt himself. Now he has a radio show that covers New England every Saturday.
Yep.
He's a speaker. He's a a real estate broker. I mean, this and very well spoken. He was probably, like we were talking before the show, one of the more well spoken individuals on this show.
Yeah, he was a pro for sure, for all the reasons why you said, right? I feel like something like that, when they've been through what they've been through,
yeah,
being on a live stream doesn't make somebody like that nervous. You know, he's like, this is nothing. I literally lost everything. You want to talk about nervous? That's nervous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he was a great example too about this idea of increasing your influence, and what you touched on with taking risks with Mike. That theme carried through to Byron, and just you have to put it all out there to either get it all or you might lose it all. But even when you lose it all, it's a testament to the fact that you still have you. Like we talk about personal brand, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Lose the quote unquote assets or whatever it is you want to call it, but the brand's still there. You're still alive and kicking. And if you did it once, you can do it again.
Yeah.
And that how that mindset factors into everything. And he's a true testament to that. It was great to hear his story.
Yeah, really was great to hear his story. And he's another one that we would have back on, because I think it goes so much deeper with him. Because one thing we didn't mention, he also owns a marketing company, or he's partner in a marketing company. So he's just super well-rounded. He's super well-rounded. And one of the things that I think is really interesting in all this is really understanding, what goes through the mind of people that are super successful, right? Where they have several businesses they own. How do they manage it? Because so many people are just caught up in what they do, period. How does one become Elon Musk? How does one, become who's the really, really rich guy next to Bill Gates? Warren Buffett.
It's like there's a lot of people in that camp, right? Yeah, Warren Buffett. Well, I think delegation has got to be a huge part of that, right? The team around him and building up people that he trusts. But I think too, his marketing company, it's not like he has a marketing company, and he's going after the consumer goods industry, right? He has to do marketing for his main business. And so he can either outsource it to somebody else, or he can take control over it and own it and do it the way he knows it has to get done. I enjoyed that part of the conversation when he was talking about his content marketing strategy and the way he's just trying to be first in everybody's mind in New England, whether it's the radio show or the content he's putting out on social media, the tours, the interviews, that whole machine he's built it's a business, but it really feeds the other business. And at some point you can't outsource that.
Right.
Lose something in the middle. So he started his own company, which is awesome.
Yeah. But it's still people, it's still work, it's still more stuff. So it's runs a radio show.
Going back to the time management expert that's out there, hopefully it's going to get on the
show. The one Joel's going to get on our show for us. Right, Joel? I know he's out there listening. He's going to hide from me now. All right, moving on. Then we had Justin Wynn, the young lad, the college cheat sheet guy. This is what I like about Justin. I mean, the backward hat, right? Just that Gen Z millennial approach of, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. You either love me or you hate me, and he was easy to love. He's just a nice guy. You can tell he's down to earth. Yeah. But he didn't, same thing with internships. That was his switch point. He didn't understand the power of networking, the power of personal branding then. And it was really throwing him off because he was doing really great in school and just wasn't getting any interns.
Yeah. And then he figured it out. And once he figured it out, he said, I can help other people. And what I love about him is he owns the brand that he's building, right? He knows who his target is. And so every word he uses, the backwards hat, it's all done on purpose.
That's right.
To appeal to that brand. So when you look at Declassified College, you got the little joystick there for the emoji, but all the imagery is like video games and things that they can identify with and relate to, cheat codes. It's not just like, here's 5 tips for blah, 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 right? It's here's the cheat code.
Yeah, right.
That resonates, and he's speaking their language, And so he's breaking through, and his podcast is getting traction, and he's bringing on all these interns and all this stuff, right? So
right.
I think that was a good lesson for anybody, not just what Justin's doing, is that I think a lot of the legacy brands in home building, especially the brands that have been around forever, they're still using the same language, the same messaging strategies, and they haven't really stopped to say, is this the right word? Should we be saying it this way? Who are we really talking to? And they could take a page out of Justin's book and do some of that reflection and then come back at it a different way and be potentially more successful.
Yeah, for sure. And he has an event coming up that you're going to be on.
Yeah. So there's interns that he's bringing on, which is, again, a great idea. So he's trying to grow a podcast. And so he's bringing on interns from across the country at different universities to represent the podcast in person. And he's doing this whole event to talk about different types of marketing and marketing careers with them. And so I'm going to speak about my experiences in the marketing field. And it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. So like you said, here, more details. You're
becoming an old guy quick, huh?
I know. Yeah. I could tell the war stories back in the day, walking uphill both ways,
right?
Before social media, flip phones.
Hell yeah, no, for sure. All right, so there we have it. We covered the last four. They all have one thing in common, and the same is in common with you or me, and that is they understand the value of branding, personal branding. So the question is this, Miles, and it keeps coming up. And let me get this banner down here. Does personal branding, whether your social media influence, carry into your business influence? Right? Are they one and the same, or are they separate?
I think for the most successful people, they're one and the same. I think they can be separate. You can choose to separate them.
Right.
But then it's almost like you're living a double life. You got to choose what avatar you're assuming depending on the situation you're in, instead of just being you. Yep. And how that applies. It gets tweaked a little bit for each situation, but all of these people don't have, like a different version of them. It's like they're them. And they can talk about the personal stuff and they can talk about the work stuff in the same conversation, because we did that with all of them here on the stream.
Right.
But they don't hide it. I feel like when you don't hide it and when you just own it, it's more accepted by whoever is out there consuming the content you're putting out or viewing your LinkedIn profile or whatever it is. When you try to separate it, it almost invites the question, what are you trying to hide that you're trying to separate it, right? Like, what am I missing here that you're show up differently in these different places?
Well, I mean, that's right. So, I mean, that's it. If you're out there looking for work or a job or anything else, every guest we've had on that we've talked about job hunting, because that's a big thing right now, all said that one of the first places they go is social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest. They really want to see who you are, not just professionally on LinkedIn, but behind the scenes. And I think, that's the hardest thing to teach young people today.
Yeah. Well, what I would argue, it's probably easier to teach that to younger people and harder to teach it to older people, right? The people that have grown up with it being separated and you didn't talk about certain things, now saying it's okay. People that have grown up with social media, it's just natural. They maybe overshare would be what you'd have to talk about, right? Like, when you're on LinkedIn, don't tell me about the taco you just ate, right? Have those conversations. But yeah, it's interesting because everybody that is really successful, if you look at it, we talk about Gary Vee a lot, right? Gary Vee's Gary Vee to the point where he's just going to say, how the F are you? Right. And just drop the F bomb. He doesn't try to be polished.
Yeah.
And people love him for it.
That's right. Well, so let me clarify what I was saying. So when I say I do not think that younger people today, high school, college, realize the is it ramification the right word of what they're doing on social media today and how that's going to affect them when they go look for a job, right? Sure. There's hey, I'm at the college party and things went a little sideways. Check it out, right? But you're in the middle of it. So I think that's more, what the concern is. I know when I was growing up, I mean, we didn't even have flip phones until I was, out of high school or what have you. So it was never an issue for us. But today, they're all doing it.
Oh, yeah. And it's not even like you have to wait till the next morning now for things from the party. It's while the party's happening, people could be literally live streaming stuff to social media. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, well, I love it, man. Miles, I think this whole journey of everybody we've been speaking with has been, amazing, quite honestly. Not just on this show, but all the shows, but in particular to this show, just the direction of information that if somebody really tunes in and listens to what we're talking about on a regular basis and implements what our guests are saying, it changes the course of what you do. It changes the course of your life. It changes the course of your business.
For sure. Yeah. So much of it's a mindset shift. It's changing the way the situations are the same, right? But it's changing the way you react to certain things or the way you take action and what you do, like not separating versus separating, things like that. Yeah. It's really interesting. So many people have done it so well that I think the hard part is not what do you do? Because that's kind of clear. We say it over and over again about
right.
brand, but it's finding your way of doing it. Like what feels the right to you? What is truly you, not just you mimicking what works for somebody else.
Yeah.
That little finessing, I think, is what really becomes the most difficult.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think that's understanding where the fine line is on that is what's the harder part.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, you rag on me for video, right? But like I could do video the way you had done video, but that just wasn't me, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have felt right to me. I wouldn't have been able to do it for as long as I've been doing. And then just having that realization as I was walking my dog and pulling out the phone to write an idea down, to then go back and record for the podcast I've been doing for years, it just hit me that this could be a video. And with some minor equipment purchases to steady the shakiness of my videos, right? I think I spent $100 on a gimbal, and then everything else I already had. I just have a little clunkiness walking my dog with like this thing in my hand, but it's okay. I can look silly to everybody else,
right?
Because I get great responses when I do post those thoughts instead of just letting them be lost into the universe with my brain or buried in the depths of my phone. Now I can turn them into content and conversation starters.
So that's it. So tell us, since you started doing the videos, how has that interaction affected you? I mean, here's a perfect story. You started eating our own cake, right? And I haven't done podcasts yet, but I kind of do them. I just need to turn them into podcasts. But
yeah,
how has it changed for you?
Yeah, on that, by the way, all these different live streams, you could have 6 different podcasts.
Oh, we're working on it.
You just choose when you launch them. Yeah. So for me, how it's changed, it's like I say, conversation starters. That's been the biggest thing. You talk about that phrase, your network is your net worth and things like that. The videos invite the conversation. I think they turn a static LinkedIn profile or Facebook page or whatever social network you choose to do it on into more of a two-way experience where now I'm just not a floating head in a profile picture. Right. Here's the guy. He's talking to me, not just writing something. It's, oh, look, he's got a dog. He's stumbling over his words. Oh, he's actually a human being, right? You feel more comfortable to reach out and message.
Yeah, sure.
And so I'm getting a lot of those, a lot of connection requests, a lot of messages, a lot of people even suggesting ideas to me of, I think this would be a great video for you or a great podcast for you. Suggesting other people I reach out to, inviting me on other live streams and other, like the speaking thing with Justin, or I've done other LinkedIn lives with other people who have found me on there. A couple even coaching clients, people bought my online course about podcasting. People now want to hire me to then help them create their own content, right? So it's just inviting that conversation, I think, is the easiest way to summarize it. And then those conversations can translate to other things.
Absolutely. Sorry, I got to duck down and see something. I can't see my application window. So Miles Biggs, this is Miles Biggs right here, right?
Oh, look at me.
So, but I think this is what you're doing, just so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're just walking. You have your dog, and or do you have your dog this day?
I do. Yeah. I don't show my dog every day, but yeah, I'm just walking her.
Wonderful. In Pennsylvania, it looks like the only thing you have to worry about is getting run over by an Amish buggy where you're at.
Yeah, every once in a while, a couple times in videos, a car zooms by and I'm ducking off to the side of the road. But
yeah. But I think this is what it's about, and this is the content you've kind of been putting out there every morning, just on your morning walk. It's completely unedited, right? And I think that's what's powerful, and you're doing it every morning, 5 days a week only, or what?
No, 7. So like if you scroll up, I did one right there. Like, so there was on Labor Day. I took my son on a hike, And so I did a little video as I was thinking about me hiking with him for the first time. There he
Right.
is. He's 2.5. It was his first time in the woods. And the whole time he's running around going, wow, this is so amazing. And I take it for granted. I'm an Eagle Scout. I spent a lot of time in the woods as a teenager and just loved
Yeah.
it. So that's what I'm saying in this video, is just that it made me realize, especially from a content or business perspective, I think a lot of people don't share their stories because they don't think there's any value there, because to them it seems so commonplace or rudimentary or not of value. But what we take for granted and do all the time, somebody's never done before, and they're going to be like, wow, this is amazing, just like my little dude was in the woods. So yeah.
Well, and that's it. I mean, but that's what a lot of people do. And even for us, you know, we take what we do for granted all the time in life, you know, once you do it for so long. And I think, look at that. I've just said, went back to where he was running down the pathway.
Yeah, he's just running. Yeah, he's having fun.
Yeah. But I mean, that's really it. It's about teaching. We're always teaching. We're always learning. We're always trying to put our best foot forward and do the right things with, you know, with people that we care about and within our network. And I think that's key. So, all right, so here we are. You've done the videos. You're doing it 7 days a week. What are you feeling from it? Just break it down. Like, what is the best feeling you're getting from all these videos you're doing? And you just started. So if you're just tuning in, Miles just started doing these videos a month ago.
2 months ago. I was just scheduling some stuff out on YouTube then. So I think I'm on day 46 or 47 today.
So that's 47 pieces of content, all 2 to 3 minutes long, just walking in the morning with your dog, your son, and hiking in the woods. Would that are you going to continue doing it?
Yeah. I mean, until maybe one day I'm going to run out of stuff to say every single day, and I might just change the frequency.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just, I have found that I perform well under pressure. So when I impose something on myself like that, like I'm going to do it every day. And then it just keeps me thinking about what I'm going to do next. And so then I have more ideas. And if I didn't have a reason to have an idea, so it's like forced creativity, which then gets applied to the content. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep doing it. The frequency might change, but I think the biggest thing I've gotten out of it, I mean, it's a confidence increaser, right? I'm going from not a lot of video to these live streams with you every week for the past 6 months. Then I'll do my own stuff every day. It just reaffirms that what I had gotten in my head about of all the reasons why it wouldn't work, I was just BSing myself. And it's actually simple once you get started and get into a rhythm.
Right.
So that lesson can be applied to other things. So I think that's probably the big takeaway, is like, I'm looking at now, what's my next video? What's the thing I've been saying I can't do for XYZ reason that really, if I apply the way I've attacked video, I could accomplish something else. And then it's just fun now. It's fun to have the conversations, really. I've met new people that have found me through hashtags and searches, and they're like, hey, I saw your video for the first time and it resonated with me for these reasons. And just knowing that you're impacting people in a positive way is awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
A little piece of Central PA, right? Like you said, the farm fields right there, right? You don't have to be in a big city, right? Or in where all the action is physically to be a part of the online action.
Yeah. Well, that's really, America happens out in those parts of the world, right? I mean, that's it. I'm from PA originally. Farmers, manufacturing. I mean, here's an offsite promotion. PA is full of offsite manufacturers, and probably more than anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, there's like half a dozen within an hour drive from my house.
Yep, that's right. So there's a whole lot happening out there. So you don't have to be in the big cities to enjoy life and create content and do everything you're doing. So, Miles, who would have known that you would have become the topic of our conversation? But it kind of just dawned on me. Hey, listen, you've been doing this for a while, so let's bring it out there and see what people have to say. I know we have a couple more comments here. Let's look at them real quick. All right, Joel says, yes, I'll get Hugh on here. All right, you're committed. That's it. All right, Jennifer says Justin Wynn knows his audience, and they definitely identify with him for sure. And she had one more comment. The right word, like offsite or offsite, industrialized construction or modern method of construction. We need to figure out the brand of our industry. Well, that's it as well, too. We're still working through that. And like Jennifer said, everybody calls it something different. The real question is that we're trying to figure out, does it really matter?
Yeah, well, and the big question is, we can call whatever the heck we want, but what are people who are looking for it calling it? Like from a marketing perspective, if you look at Google searches, the amount of people that are searching for offsite versus modular or panelized or, you know, what they already know it as
Manufactured
is amazingly different. And so you can call yourself offsite, which is fine, but people aren't searching for that. So you also need to have some of those other keywords so they can actually find you and be exposed to what you're doing and then
100%.
buy into it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't know, man. There's so much going on. It's lots and lots of fun. So, all right, Miles. I love it, man. 35 minutes. So we got a couple things coming up. Everybody can see the banner below. Please check it out. We have the NAHB Building Systems Week coming up in September 21st to the 25th. Please register. It is free. We are, when I say we, I'm hosting as the MC all of the panels and boards. So, you know, if you're enjoying the content I'm putting out here, you're really going to enjoy me hosting these panels with experts from all across the offsite construction industry, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Also, guess what, Miles? IBS is open for registration. As of now, it's still moving forward in a reduced capacity, but it's still moving forward in Orlando. So start registering. Miles, you're going to be there, right?
I don't know. That's when the baby's coming.
Well, you just tell that baby to wait. This is IBS, man. I we can do our video walkthroughs.
Yeah,
I'll call your wife and tell her to hold off a week or so, okay?
Okay, I'll let you have that conversation.
Yeah, I am not having that conversation. Love it, love it, love it. And then tomorrow on BS Friday, I saw Mark putting it up here. Less than 24 hours away, we have Denise V. Staff on tomorrow. There's the link. It is going to be LinkedIn Live on BS Friday with Mark, Bare Naked Willie, and I. Tomorrow's going to be a cool conversation, Miles. You want to know why?
I'd love to.
It's about sustainability. Not sustainability in the sense of what the term means, but if you're a company and you have a product, how do you meet the sustainability standards to where somebody like Lead or Passive House will use your product? Right? There are people out there like Denise who come in and look at the sustainability of your company and of your product, because this is a big thing. The market has shifted, right? The market has now shifted to where this, especially with COVID, healthy homes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sustainable homes is more prevalent than ever. So we're going to have Denise on tomorrow, and she's going to talk us what she does when she goes into these companies, and she works with big companies. And she's going to walk us through what happens for companies to be able to call themselves sustainable or sell their products, Passive House, Lead, whatever the case is. That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a job.
It probably wasn't a job until she made it one. That's what's great about it.
I think that's exactly what happened. She went for her Lead AP and some other stuff and got her master's, and you'll have to tune in tomorrow to find more. But
she'd probably be a good one to talk on this one too, about personal branding, right? She created her own job. How do you do that?
I don't know. Well, maybe I do know. I've kind of done that somehow.
Right. Yeah.
Whoever thought you fall into it, maybe.
Right. Figure it out.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Let's say hi to, we got George Ryman joined us. Good morning from Phoenix, Arizona. And he said there's a name for the new baby.
IBS.
Irritable bowel syndrome. That's what your wife will think when she hears that.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe like a second middle name or something.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that be funny, right? IBS. We'll have to send some NAHB swag to the hospital.
There you go. Get me one of the hats, right? The hat collection we keep talking about. Put it on the baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Great again on the kid.
Yep. I'm going to plug some other things, Miles. So next week, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, we're going to be on location at the MMC's first set, right? The Modular Mobilization Coalition's first set in Washington, D.C. We will be going live on Monday. I'm going to have on Monday, I'm going to have Tiffany McCall and Devin Perry on the show. If I can get a good enough wireless signal, we're going to have the foundation and the setup for the big set that's starting Tuesday for the MMC down there, which is being pulled off all next week. All the modules I think are there in the staging area. And then Tuesday, we're going live on location. So we're going to do a walkthrough probably at 10 o'clock and at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But we're also going to go live on our regular live show for Building Modular. Guests to be determined. I have some people I wanted to pull in for that in particular, just because of what we're doing here. So that's happening. So that's a lot of fun. And then the following week, Miles, Building Systems Week. Everybody needs to tune in for that. It's free.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, I'll attest to that. It is free. I registered yesterday. No credit card required.
Yeah.
My Zoom link's all ready to go on my calendar. I'll be there.
Yeah, I know. And what else? October, we're heading out to with the Housing Innovation Alliance. We're going to Texas, man. So we have all these. I said we were going live on location. It's all starting to come together fast, which is having me up my game, because how do I do live interviews like this? And how do we run the show if we're constantly on the road? It's not the same software. I have a whole gear set up for streaming when I'm on location.
Sure.
So, but we're going to figure it out. We're not going to miss a beat. And if we do, we'll make up a beat.
There you go.
But that's the fun part about being live, isn't it? You just got to go with it. There's
no time
picking your nose. You're picking your nose. It is what it is.
Yeah. Can we get a coffee sponsor? Can we work on that?
I know. Well, we've been working on the coffee sponsor. I kind of got off my bandwagon on the coffee with so much going on, but you're right. We need a coffee sponsor. Who out there knows the coffee sponsors? Who's the military coffee guys? Black Rifle Coffee. That's who.
I love their marketing. That's a cool company.
They do some really cool stuff. So if you're with Black Rifle Coffee and you know anybody out there, us, me being an ex-military guy, let's do it. Love our armed forces.
Yeah, I'll drink coffee.
Yeah, and while loving the armed forces.
That's right.
All right, everybody. So we got some homework. We're gonna get Jenny Melman back on. We're gonna break down Splash Modular's marketing. Let's hope. Let's see what we can do about getting Jenny on sooner rather than later. Joel, we'll reach out to you as well. I'm sure we'll talk somewhere in between anyhow. And let's see if we can make all this come together, Miles, because I think breaking down someone's brand on our show is going to be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thanks, Miles. I appreciate today's update. I'm happy that the videos are working out for you.
Yeah, thanks. Me too.
I love it. And I look forward to doing some co-branded videos with you. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, we can go on a walk together.
All right, Miles, I got to go now. It was great seeing you, buddy. Yeah, we could go on. I'll show up with my kids and you show up with yours, and we'll
there you go.
Hit the trails and have a good time together. Yeah, for sure. So, well, and I think that's it, buddy. I'm gonna sign us off here and make sure everybody that you tune in. What was it on the 24th for Miles? We got to make sure join Miles on the 24th, 8 p.m. to be determined and announced when it's going to come. I'm sure you're going to put it on your LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram accounts, but you will be speaking. So that's awesome. And you will be with Justin Wynn as well. So that's a lot of promos for a lot of things we have coming up. And again, sign up for Building Systems Week as well as the NHB IBS.
Awesome. All right. Until next time.
All right, Miles. Take care. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. We really do appreciate your support. Honestly. Love it. Ciao now.